Janie here, and today I'm going to show you how to make an A2 size double easel card. Is that the coolest ever? And it's really not as difficult to make as it looks. And I saw this on Iced Images YouTube channel. She was making it 5x7. And so I sat down and used my math skills and figured out how to make it in an A2 size card. And that is what I'm going to be showing you today. Okay, for this card base, you're going to need a piece of cardstock that is 5.5 inches by 8.5 inches, or a pre-folded A2 size card base. And mine is pre-folded, but if yours isn't, you would score it at 4 1/4 inches right down the middle. And then we're going to score it again at 2 3/4 inches. So I'm going to just score it right there. Okay. And then this next part, you can do it a variety of ways. So one way is to turn your cardstock and score it at 2 3/4 inches, which is half of 5.5, so 2 3/4, and you would score it to that score line because you're going to cut on that line. So you're creating a score line to cut on. Or you can use a pencil and a ruler and just measure on here to the 2 3/4, you know, put a little mark right there. Then come up here and do the same thing at 2 3/4 so that you will know where to cut. But I'll show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to use my paper trimmer. So let me bring that in, move that out of the way. And I'm just going to put this in at 2 3/4 inches. And make sure everything is lined up straight. Okay, and I'm just going to cut to that score line. So just move it right across and stop right at the score line. And there we go. Now I have that cut in half. Next, you're going to need to score from this inside corner to the outside corner on both sides. And if you have a scoreboard and you're good at doing that, that is great. For me, I'm going to use my ruler, and to do that, I'm going to flip this over so that once I do this, the fold is going the right direction. So I'm just going to line my ruler up from that corner to the outer corner, like so. And then I'm just going to lift that up and create a score line, just like so. And you know, sometimes it doesn't matter whether you're using a scoreboard or a ruler, you may not get it exactly straight, and so this is the time to make sure that everything is straight. And then you can, you know, use your bone folder to smooth it down. And we're going to do that on both sides, and that's going to create the easel that we need. So do that again over here, and then fold it over. And again, this one isn't quite as straight as I would like it, so I'm just straightening it out before I burnish it down. And with that done, now when we turn it over, okay, it looks like this, and it's going to fold up like that. Of course, hold on a minute here. Let's fold that. There we go. That's one thing I forgot to tell you, is that that score line is a valley score line. So if you didn't have a pre-folded A2 size card, then you're going to fold that center one as a mountain fold, and then the one that we did at 2 3/4 inches, we're going to make that one a valley fold. And you'll see what we're going to be doing with that here in a little bit. But right here, we just created the easel. Okay, next we are going to put glue or double-sided tape or both right here in this section, okay? And we are going to glue that shut, okay? We're not going to glue the flaps down, we're just going to glue down that section. I prefer using my Beacon 3-in-1. Sometimes I like using the double-sided tape and the Beacon, but today I'm just going to use this, and make sure that you get that whole section glued down, okay? So I'm getting my glue in there, getting it right there to the edge. All right. And I'm just going to close that over like so and glue it down, okay? So the flaps are still here that are for the easel, but this section right here that we had scored off, that is being glued down, okay? And now we are left with the easel pieces, and it is time to start putting this together. These are the papers that I'm going to be using, and these are from the October bonus printables from Kendra's Card Challenge, and these are just 3 of the 12 papers that are in that set, along with sentiments and images and more. And I'll tell you right now how you can get these. The bonus printables are free to download for Kendra's Card Challenge patrons that are on the official or all access or VIP levels, and I will have a link below in the description box. Okay, so I've got all of my layers cut out and ready to put on the card. And you can put 1 layer, 2 layers, 3 layers. It is totally up to you. And actually the sizes are up to you, but I'm gonna show you what I did. So for the first layer right here on this back piece, that layer is 5 1/4 by 1 1/4 inches, and it would look good with just the 1 layer. But I decided to go with 2, and so this next one is 5 inches by 1 inch. Okay, I'm going to set those aside for a minute. We're going to go to this layer. Okay, and for that, this piece is 5 1/4 inches by 2 1/2 inches. Sorry, that's just in the way there. See if I can get it out there, okay? And then the next layer is 5 inches by 2 1/4 inches. Okay, so let me set those aside. Now, for these pieces, you are going to need 1 piece of cardstock, preferably solid. In this case, I'm going with white. That is the exact same size as that section right there. Okay. And so that means that this piece is 2 3/4 by 2 3/4, and you're going to need 1 for each side. And then the layers that go on there, my first layer is 2 1/2 inches by 2 1/2 inches, and my next layer is 2 1/4 inches by 2 1/4 inches. And of course it's the same for both sides. And after I get that on, I'll talk to you about the piece that's going to go right here in the center. But first, I want to get all these put on the card. And actually, before I do, let me show you something else. Okay, because these were printed on white cardstock, they have that white edge right there. And so on all of the pieces, well, not these because they're on white, but on all of these pieces, I'm just going to go around and ink the edges, and I chose to use fired brick in this case because I thought it was going to match that pretty good, and it's a nice fall color, and I think it would be just a good accent for everything. So I'm going to do that on all of these pieces, and as you can see, it gets rid of that white edge. Okay, so there you go. I'm going to go do that to all of these, and then I'm going to layer them up on my card. Okay, so I've got that on, and I've got this piece on. These are both already layered, and I came back because I need to show you how they go on here, because there's two important things. So one is the only place that you are going to put the glue is on this inside triangle, okay? We're not going to put it up here at all. No, no, no. The other important thing is you may be tempted to put it so that everything is facing this way. Let me grab a sentiment here. Hold on. Okay. You may be tempted to have everything facing this way, but that's not the direction it's going to go, because when your card opens, it's actually going to be this part. So when you put it on, lay it out, have it facing inward, okay? So you would have your pattern paper facing this direction and your sentiment facing that direction, so that when it stands up, it's facing the right way, okay? So I hope that I've made that really clear. And I'm not decorating mine yet, but I can see which way the paper goes. So it's going to go on like that. Whoops, I'm throwing things around here. Okay, so I'm just going to put the glue right here on this triangle piece, like so. Because if you put it on the top area, if you put it over here, this would not work. Okay. I'm just going to lay this flat, and again making sure that I have this facing that direction, and I'm going to line everything up perfectly, okay, and then it'll open just like that. So I'm going to do the same thing on this side, and this time again making sure that I am only putting the glue on this inner triangle, and that the pattern is facing this way. So you want the patterns to be facing inward, not facing you this way, okay? And again, I'm just going to lay that down and get it all lined up, which is actually easier to do if I could get over the top of it without getting my head in the way. So there we go. They're both going to open up just like that. Okay, I'm going to go decorate mine, and then I'm going to come back and we're going to talk about the piece that goes in the center, okay? Okay, now for the piece that's going to go in the middle to hold those up, okay? You're going to need a square that is 1 3/4 by 1 3/4. And then of course your next layer could be 1 1/2 by 1 1/2, which is what I'm doing. And I'm going to put this on really quick so that we can move on to putting it in there, because we're going to have to add some foam tape to pop it up. And I'm going to do that before I add this last piece, because you're going to be tempted to add it like this, but this is going to be going that direction. So whatever you put here has to go across this way. All right. So I've got that on. I'm going to add some foam tape to the back. This is kind of thick. You could use a thinner one. I don't know why I grabbed this one, but I did. So that is what I'm going to use. Let me get an idea here of how big I need it to be. So that should work. Okay. So now we're going to just pop this inside there. And if along the way you have seen me add glue to the back of this, I want to make it really clear. I am not covering up the foam tape with glue. What I'm doing is I'm just putting a couple drops to kind of give me some wiggle room if I need it. And also because I really have more faith in my Beacon 3-in-1 than I do in the other, in the foam tape. Okay, so we need to put this kind of right where that point is. So let me kind of move these apart. Right in there, okay? So it's in the center, just like that. It's gonna hold those up, and you'll notice it doesn't come out too far because you don't want it to come all the way out, okay? So I've got that on there. And now I'm gonna put this on, but see, I'm gonna put it on that direction, all right? So not that direction, but that direction. And you don't even have to put a sentiment there. You can leave it, you can decorate it. It is totally up to you. But I decided that this is, you know, I wanted to add one of the sentiments from the set, from the October bonus set. And that's actually where all of this has come from. So I'll kind of take you through that here in a second. But let me get this on here. Try to get it centered. Okay. I kind of think it's centered. Kind of. Yep, I think it works. Okay. So that is what it's going to look like when it's open. And for mailing, when it's closed, it'll fold like this, okay? So there you go, just kind of giving you an idea. And if you're wondering, well, where do you sign it and where do you put more sentiment if you want, you can do that on the back. You can, if you're going to do it directly on the back, do it before you add all the layers. Otherwise, you can just, I've got glue on there. Otherwise, you can just cut out another piece of cardstock and do your sentiment and stuff on that and then glue it on over this. But this is just super cute. And so the pumpkins that I used, let me get a closer look here for you. Those pumpkins are also from the October bonus printables. And they come either pre-colored or not colored, so you can color them yourself. And those are the ones I used. I colored those myself with my Spectrum Noir markers. And the sentiments, those were also part of the set, including that one. It comes with so much. There are so many of these sentiments. I mean, a ton of them. I actually did not print everything out, or I would show it to you, but give me 1 second. As with any printable, you can print them whatever size you want. I didn't even print the whole page. As you can tell, this is kind of cut off down here, and this is where I cut the other 2 sentiments out, but it comes with all of these sentiments and all of these cute little things that you can cut out, and so much more. So much more. But anyways, that's where I got everything that I used on here, except for those little copper foil leaves. I have a punch, doesn't have a name on it. It is just a little tiny thing that I've had like forever and got from a yard sale. But I absolutely love this card fold and the fall papers that I used and how this turned out. I hope my tutorial was easy enough to follow, and I hope you don't mind that I decorated off camera to save time. And also, if you'd like to see how to make this in the 5x7 size, I will have a link below to Iced Images video. Thank you all so much for stopping by, and happy crafting, everyone. Bye-bye.